Hello, everybody! Welcome to Milito English! Estamos aqui para mais um Gladly Receives. Então, antes de eu começar, queria dar boas-vindas a todo mundo que está aí assistindo, que está aí hoje nos prestigiando e contar que hoje eu vou bater um papo com o Álvaro Logullo, que já está aqui comigo. O Álvaro acabou de se formar em jornalismo pela USP, muito legal, e ele tem vários projetos na internet e foi por isso que eu trouxe ele para... Opa, então, peraí, deixa eu tirar a voz aqui. Então eu chamei o Álvaro para ele contar para a gente um pouco desses projetos e para a gente bater um papo sobre um tema diferente. Ainda não tinha trazido ninguém, nem da área de jornalismo, nem da área de esporte. Então eu trouxe o Álvaro para vir aqui, né? Fiz para ele o desafio que eu faço para todo mundo, inclusive para todo mundo que está assistindo, de vir aqui bater um papo comigo em inglês. Algumas pessoas aceitam, outras não. Então, quem estiver aí me assistindo e quiser vir aqui bater um papo comigo em inglês no YouTube, já está convidado, me manda uma mensagem lá no Instagram. Então, eu já convido vocês também para curtirem esse vídeo, se inscreverem no canal, compartilharem, chamarem os amigos e me seguir no Instagram e no Facebook. Assim vocês podem saber tudo o que está acontecendo, vocês podem me mandar uma mensagem e combinar comigo de vir aqui bater um papo comigo no Gladly Receives, onde a gente conversa em inglês e onde o que menos importa é o seu nível de inglês. Porque o que eu quero é trazer a oportunidade de quem está assistindo, trazer a oportunidade para quem está assistindo, desculpa, de ouvir sobre temas diferentes que talvez não ouviria no dia a dia e aprender. Então eu vou aprender, hoje eu vou aprender com o Álvaro sobre jornalismo e sobre esporte, e vocês vão aprender também e a gente vai aprendendo, né? Como eu falei para ele, eu falo para todo mundo, se tiver alguma coisa que ele não sabe, que ele, sei lá, esqueceu, ele para, ele pergunta, se ele souber, eu respondo, se eu souber eu respondo, se eu não souber a gente pesquisa, e o legal é isso, né? A gente incentivar cada vez mais pessoas a falar inglês com o que tem, porque se a gente for ficar esperando a gente falar perfeito para depois conversar, não dá, tem que falar do jeito que tá. Então, convido quem estiver aí me assistindo, que quiser bater um papo sobre qualquer assunto, me manda uma mensagem, a gente planeja essa live e vocês vêm aqui. Lembrar também que agora nós temos, no momento, 4 lives por semana. Então, são 2 terças e 2 quintas. Agora eu tô aqui com o Álvaro no Gladly Receives e às 9h15 eu entro novamente ao vivo aqui no canal para continuar o meu curso Verde e Amarelo, que é um curso de inglês que eu dou para quem não sabe nada de inglês, que está querendo começar, não sabe nem por onde começar, ou para você que já sabe e quer aprender de uma forma nova, quer ter um monte de dicas de pronúncia, dicas de gramática, rever a estrutura de uma forma diferente, que é a forma que eu faço. E de quinta-feira a gente tem mais 2 lives também, sempre uma aula sobre um tema diferente. Quinta agora eu vou falar sobre the most common mistakes, né? Como eu sempre falo, eu sou professora de inglês há 20 anos e a gente vê que assim tem alguns erros que são super recorrentes, algumas dúvidas que são super recorrentes. Então na quinta-feira eu vou conversar sobre alguns desses erros, algumas dessas dúvidas e logo depois, novamente às 9h15, eu entro com a continuação do curso Verde e Amarelo. Convidá-los também a participar do curso que vai começar em abril, que é um curso que eu vou dar também gratuito e também será transmitido aqui pelo YouTube. Se você quiser participar da turma, tá aqui comigo na plataforma para poder receber atividades, para poder participar muito mais ativamente, ter as suas atividades respondidas, corrigidas. Vai lá no Instagram ou no Facebook, me manda uma mensagem e fala: Yara, quero participar do curso de inglês voltado para comunicação, baseado em filmes da Netflix. Tudo que você precisa saber é ter uma base mínima de inglês, ter Netflix em casa, gostar de filme e ter coragem de falar inglês. Não se preocupa, você não vai precisar falar aqui ao vivo. Tudo que será transmitido vai ser só a parte que eu vou estar dando de conteúdo para vocês. Então, quem quiser, corre lá, já se inscreve, já me manda uma mensagem ou me manda um e-mail para a gente poder começar a fazer toda essa parte de inscrição. Acho que eu não tenho mais nenhum recado por enquanto para dar, por enquanto. Então, já vou começar com o Álvaro, como eu contei para vocês, o Álvaro Logullo. Ele se formou em jornalismo e ele tem mais de um projeto super bacana aí na internet, voltado para o esporte. Um é voltado para futebol. Ele vai contar um pouco pra gente sobre o time do coração dele de lá, porque o time de coração dele daqui eu não quero saber. Inclusive, eu tô vendo que tem umas canecas, uns negócios ali aparecendo, que não tô curtindo, mas fazer o quê, né? Convidado é convidado, a gente tem que tratar bem a si mesmo. Mas o outro time eu deixo ele falar. E daí, e conversar também sobre né, o outro projeto dele, que é o Bola na Agulha. Ele vai contar pra gente muito mais sobre isso, sobre como nasceu nessa ideia e o que é, o que tem de diferente no Bola na Agulha. Eu já assistia vários vídeos, né, mais um podcast, ele vai contar pra gente, mas tá no YouTube também. Se você ainda não segue, aproveita e já segue Bola na Agulha no YouTube, no podcast, em todas as redes sociais, né, Álvaro? Para vocês verem, é bem interessante, é bem diferente do que a gente está acostumado, né? Aquela coisa assim, futebol, quem vai ganhar, quem vai perder, né? E essas coisas. Então, é muito legal. Então, a gente tem algumas pessoas que já estão aqui. A Silvia aqui, né? Inclusive, a mãe do Álvaro tá aí, já faz meia hora esperando. Sandra também, né? Aí esperando o Álvaro. A Ilma e também, né? Minha filha, Giovana, e minha mãe também estão assistindo. Então, quem mais estiver assistindo, já manda um oi pra gente saber que vocês estão aí e eu poder mandar um oi para vocês. Então, Álvaro, chega de eu falar, é a sua vez. It's your turn, Álvaro. Tell us, who is Álvaro Logullo?
Hello. First of all, I would like to thank you for the invitation, of course, and I am already apologize to the listeners for the English mistakes I will make here, but of course, for sure, but I'm sorry. I think that, like you said, it's normal, and we are here to learn. And actually, I haven't spoken English for a long time, since, I don't know, 2014, actually, because I was in the school classes. And 1 year before, I finished my English course, and after that, I spoke very little English, only a few times, and in a trip to Italy, that's all. And in Italy, a lot of people actually don't speak English, so it's a little useless, and it was funny. But again, thank you, and I think it's going to be interesting here and a good chance to talk about important topics. Mm-hmm. I am an ex-student, like you said. I graduated in February now, after 6 years in the college. It was a little longer. Yes, because...
How old are you? You look so young.
Yes, 23.
Wow.
But people usually think that it's less than that. Mm-hmm. But 6 years because of a lot of things. The COVID, it was a problem, but one problem only. But now, finally, I finished that. And before that, I worked on ESPN Brazil. I would like to talk about that more times here in our conversation, but I'm talking now that I worked there. It's a TV. For those who don't know, it was a channel, a sports channel, and I was there 2 years almost. After that, I have time to... I was an internship. Yes, is on the social media area, you know. Okay. Dealing with the social media, the Instagram, Twitter, also the website, but wasn't this part. It's a TV, but they have, of course, this part of the work too. But I left ESPN in 2020, and after that, I have some time to do another projects. And like you said, now it's the most important ones, but it's independent project, so I don't it's nothing like money is involved. No, it's just the passion to do that, and we are going to talk about this, and I guess.
So besides your personal projects, are you employed right now? Are you working for any TV station or any newspaper or anything?
No, because I prefer last year because of all that happened, I prefer to focus on the college, to finish my course, the final work I had to do, and then I think right now I will start to look something, because yes, now that I have I finished. It's different when you go to the market and you are a student or not. So I will start right now, but in this time it was very good to did this project, because it's something you can show to people right now.
Of course. And when you started taking journalism at school, at college, I mean, did you know from the beginning that you were going to pursue the sports area of journalism, or were you unsure?
No, it was something that I knew before, actually. Before college, it's when I decided for journalism, it was thinking about sports, but a lot of things change. Sport. I also today I continue to be interested in sports, but I realized that sports are actually involved with any other areas, so you can't be a sports journalist. You can't be a sports journalist and talk only about that. You have to pursue the knowledge of another areas too.
Okay, and that's actually the biggest difference that I noticed when I started listening to your podcast, BOLA NA AGULHA, because nowadays I'm an English teacher. I've been teaching English for over 20 years. I also have a small company. I have done lots of things in my life. I have lived abroad. But my college, I'm actually graduated in physical education, and I've always loved everything about sports. And I remember when I was a child, there was no internet back then, of course. I had files and files and folders with newspapers that I would cut out the articles, especially during the Olympic Games. I would collect, I had before we moved, I used to have boxes and boxes with old newspapers and articles that I collected. And so I really like sports. And one thing that I always thought it was really boring about 90% of the sports programs is exactly that. They talk about soccer, and they talk about the results, and they talked about the result that they're going to expect, or mostly they talk about the gossip involving the soccer players, and that's it. But the universe is so much broader, and that's something that I really liked. When your mom invited me to follow you in BOLA NA AGULHA, of course I said, yeah, okay, I will do it. And I was like, oh, okay, one more program about soccer. And and then I started noticing that it was not, and I was really interested, and I really loved it. And to me, the best one was the one that you were talking about, Renan, that used to be a volleyball player when I was young, and then he went to Italy, and now he's the coach. And that's what I noticed, and I said, wow, there's something very, very different here and very interesting. And that's when I got really interested in calling you. So what I want you to do now, if you can, just tell us a little bit about BOLA NA AGULHA, what it is, how you got this idea, and if you want to, of course, talk about the other guys that are doing that with you, because I know you're not alone. So please feel free.
Yes, actually, BOLA NA AGULHA is a project that started in 2019. And at first, I did not participate because I was working in ESPN Brazil, like I said. And then I didn't have much time to participate. But of course, I knew the creators. They are all my friends from college. We studied at the same class. So in 2020, I left ESPN in February. And after that, more or less March, I joined BOLA NA AGULHA because I had more time to dedicate myself to other projects, and the guys actually was in a recess. They stopped the production after a few episodes. They did 7 episodes in 2019. Then they stopped to think about the changes they like to do. And I get in and I joined them, and we created the channel in YouTube, the page in Instagram. We restarted to post in the Twitter, and we restarted with the idea. And since then, I talking about last year May, we are doing all week episode about something. And about the idea you are talking about, we try to bring some subjects that don't have much time, that don't have much space in the traditional media. And traditional media, I'm talking about TV and radio mainly, but whatever, you can talk about podcast too. And we think, and this is a common opinion of our three, because it's me, Guilherme, and Gabriel, 3 students that are doing the Bola na Agulha. And we think that nowadays, if you turn on the TV and a sports program, you will see a lot of debate, projections, hunches, guessing, and a lot of time talking about a few teams and a few players. And of course, everything got a reason. It's something that have a reason, but we think that we are students, or I graduate now, but we are students. People don't know us. We are not famous. So why we do the same thing that is already done in practically all vehicles? Because the truth is, nobody wants to listen our opinion about something. Who are we, So it's something that we think, and we like to talk about things that happen in sport, but not only in the field, in the court, and stay talking about the gossip, like you said, and this is something that really annoys me. And we try to bring some political, geography, cultural, social, economy issues, and all of this interferes with sport and people's lives, from players to politics and the media, the population in general. Everyone is impacted by that, but don't have much space because television are worried about their audience, and they want to public. And the truth is, the public like to listen about their own teams. They like to. That's the reason why they do that.
But in a country like Brazil, most of the people are much more prepared to listen to the gossips about their teams and the team players than getting into a deeper talk about politics and economics, like you were saying. So one thing that has been happening much more lately than before is the involvement between sports people and politics. All this, when with the beginning of Black Lives Matter, we saw a lot of sports player outside Brazil also that decided to talk about it and come forward. And we saw Lewis Hamilton, like with the thing on his hat and everywhere. They would say, oh, you cannot say that. So he would write it. They would find a way to hide their message and find a way to go through their message. And that happened here in Brazil too. We had that episode with the volleyball girl. I forgot her name now. For me, with names, I'm terrible. And I think last week or a couple weeks ago, I don't remember which basketball player in the U.S. either came forward and he was criticizing another player, saying that he thinks that sports and politics should not mix and they should not get involved in that. What's your opinion about it? How do you see that?
This is happening with a soccer player, a football player, Ibrahimovic in Sweden. He was talking about LeBron James, who is a basketball player, and he normally take a stand, but I think that is very simple, because obviously is related. There is no way to separate sports and politics. It's dishonest to do that, because sport is an important political tool. We saw last year. I can't explain very well in English, I guess, but everyone maybe remember the law about the television rights, global, and the football in television, the broadcast streaming, which company will transmit the game, and a provisional measure signed by the president that affects the entire logic of transmission in the country, and people are discussing another thing. So it's here and in front of all of us that is related. So yes, we need to talk about sports and politics, and then we need to athletes that are engaged with that, because they are famous, they are influent, they are public person, public people. Mm-hmm. They need to take a stand. It's important. We want to hear what they have to say, to hear what they have to say. Mm-hmm. It's not political tasks, it's healthy, educational, everything related to sports we need to talk about. Mm-hmm. And to complete, I heard a lot of people complaining something like, players only have to play. But no, wait a second, everyone has a job and everyone talks about everything. Mm-hmm. You can talk about whatever you want, you express your opinion, so why players can't? Mm-hmm. It doesn't make any sense, I guess.
They're citizens of a country just as much as we are, and they are affected by politics, maybe even more than we are, because I think, like you said, they're public people and stuff. And one thing that it seems like, of course, nowadays it's becoming more public, but it has been happening for a long time. I mean, when you think about Socrates, and República Curitiana, he was, very, very strong about that. And even before him, of course. So I agree with you. I think it's very, very difficult to separate, and it should not be separated. That's the truth. And my question to you is, out of the people that came out of sports and are today deeply involved in politics, there are political people like deputies and senates and stuff. Is there anyone that, in your opinion, has been doing a good job, or you say, I'm proud. He used to be a soccer player, or he used to be a sports person, and now he's doing a great job as a politician. Do you think there is anyone that you could feel that way?
Yeah, it's difficult. I need to think, because
or is there anyone that you would like to see as a politician that you think could be a very good politician?
I think that it's two different things. It's the sport, the athletes that stop playing, mm-hmm. go to the politics and became, like you said, politicians. Mm-hmm. But the sport, the environment of the sport has a politic inside. Mm-hmm. All of the sport is politics. It's the confederations, the federations, the leagues, the teams, the presidents of your team. He's a politician. Mm-hmm. And I think in the middle of the sport, there are people with good intention. I think that in the women's soccer, it's now an interesting example, mm-hmm. because they gave the positions to people there. I think it's interesting to do something better, like Aline Pellegrino. She was a player. Now she's in the position of taking the responsibility. Mm-hmm. And I think she's a good example. But in politics in general, mm-hmm. We can to give an example like Romário, that became a senator and one of the most voted senator. But I think in this area, it's difficult to analyze. Mm-hmm. I agree with little things that he said, mm-hmm. but and sometimes he said something, but they don't actually do what he was saying. And it happens because you are after. However, if you are very interesting, do something good, but when you get there, it's different. We know that. So, but I think in sports, in the environment of the sport, it's getting better. It's not wow so much better, but sports in Brazil is something very sad to talk about because it's what sports, in my opinion, is a government task. It's a political public, like other things, like I said, health, education. Of course, there are degrees. We are in a situation that healthy needs to be more important. But day by day, sports are putting sides of the discussion. Yeah, because when you have to choose something, to incentive to do the promotion of the sport in universities or whatever, everyone, because everyone wants to charge good results in Olympics, for example. Everyone wants a gold medal, but in the way of this, you don't see anything to provide the opportunity, I guess.
And one more question. I promise is going to be the last one that is going to try to put you in the tight spot. But I have to ask you, one place that right now I live in Santos, but I grew up in Igreja Viana like you, and then I moved to São Paulo after when I was 18 years old. Actually, my mom moved to São Paulo. I was in college in Campinas. But São Paulo is my life, and I have lots and lots of childish and teenager memories in Complexo do Ibirapuera. And now we have the government that has this new project where they're going to tear down everything. I say they're going to tear down a huge chapter of my life without my permission, and they're going to build a new mall or whatever they're doing there. What's your opinion about it?
Yes, this subject is interesting. Actually, we talk about in the podcast too, in 2 episodes, part 1, part 2. But the truth is a real mess because every day the new changes, and we don't know what's going to happen. Every day it's different. But I think I have the same opinion. I think the complex conception by the state government, it's what is done now. It's a problem for popular sports in the city. We lost a public space. We lost public courts, tennis courts, football courts, and a gym, the gym of Ibirapuera. The project leaves some doubts. We don't know actually what they want to do. But I know there is a shopping center they want to build in that would replace the gym. The gym is a big gym, one of the most important in Brazil. So in the end, it's just another situation where sport is not a priority. Unfortunately, this is normal here in Brazil, and there are no incentives. And when you need to choose about of business or sports, you will by the side of the business. I have no doubts that will be very lucrative for the state to have another mall or whatever. But also they want,
especially
they have
term, maybe not in the long term, not for the population, but in the short term, of course, it will be much more lucrative.
Yes, and it's a similar situation of the Pacaembu Stadium. It's something like that. It's a concession by the government of the state of São Paulo, and okay, the speech is that this will going to provide better condition to the athletes, but we are talking about the athletes, professional athletes, but we can't forget that is a public space and people can use the facilities of the Pacaembu or Ibirapuera, but with this kind of action, we can't do this no longer, probably.
Mm-hmm. And now an easy, I don't know, maybe not so easy for you, but an easy question. What's your favorite sport to
My
do
favorite
and to
sport.
watch? Because I know you also do a lot of sports. You don't only watch, you don't only follow them. So,
Yeah, I like a lot of sports. People who know me know that is not a just an answer. It's true, but I will have to choose football. Number one is football because I think we are Brazilian. The passion is since we are little kids, and football is the first one. We have teams that we support, and it's like we said, the media is talking about this every time. So football is the number one. I like to, but I like most to watch. I am not that good playing football. So I found another sport to play that is tennis, and my number two is tennis. I like football, then I like tennis to watch and to play. But basketball, American football, Formula One, anything, probably I will watch it if it's on television.
if it's on TV,
But
I'm gonna be watching
yes.
it. Okay. And can you, when you watch it, do you watch it more as an spectator or more as a critical? Now that you have the Bola na Agulha and you need to be looking for things to talk about and to discuss, how did it change your way of watching and of enjoying sports in general?
I guess when I start to work on ESPN Brazil, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
change a little bit because when you work with that, it's passion, it's time, everything. It's a trouble, and you can't. Sometimes you can't enjoy the game because it's your job. So change a little bit. The support changes because sometimes now I'm watching a game and I can cheer like I did before
Uh-huh.
because but it's not a bad thing, you know. I also watch because I like. Now I don't I not working at this time. I have the projects Bola na Agulha and the other page about any specific team, but I watch everything because I like, I enjoy. But when you are doing this for work, it's natural that you change a little bit your way to see that,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not a bad thing.
Okay, okay, very good. And then you were telling us at the beginning of our talk that last time you spoke English was when you went to Italy. Do you speak any
Yes.
Italian?
No.
No.
Just a little. It's funny because you can understand Italian a little bit, even if you're not Italian, or even if you never uh, heard before. But it's a little similar to Spanish and to Portuguese too. You can pick some words and understand the context. But I heard a lot because I like Italian football and I usually watch more programs in Italian. Even I can understand. So I learn some words. I to read it can be read too, but talking with someone like we are having this conversation, I think, and at this time no, but I would like to learn. I will search for a Italian class because I like the language. I think it's a beautiful language.
Very good. And what is your relationship with Italy? And tell us a little bit about your team, your Italian team that you love, and about your project.
Yes, the Bola na Agulha is one of the projects. The other I started last year too. By the reason was the same. I had time to do it, and I got the willing to do. So I started. It was this team here, the symbol, and probably some people will not recognize because it's not a so important team in the world. It's Fiorentina, and it's an Italian club that I like. 10 years ago, I was watching games of Fiorentina already, because I discovered the team the other decade. I don't remember exactly, but 2008, 2009, more or less. I discovered the team by many reasons: the watching games in television, the video game that you play with the team, the players I'd like it. So it happens. After that, I built a relation with Italy. Actually, the Fiorentina came first. Not and then I discovered that the Italy is a very similar country with Brazil. The soccer in Italy, I like the teams, the language, everything that makes me start to be interested in that. So I started this project. This project actually it's really simple. I produce content about Fiorentina in Portuguese. Only like that, because we don't have so many vehicles here in Brazil that talk about this team. It's a traditional Italian team, but it's not so victorious. And so I like I said, I started this because I like the team, and it grows much more than I imagined. So it's fun. I started with only a space that I could share some memories, curiosities about the team, and of course the news. But like Bola na Agulha, I don't like to talk about the news in a gossip way. I don't like to make predictions and who is going to win this game. No, I prefer to talk about memories and history stuff, curiosities. I think that it's interesting because show us about the different possibilities of doing journalism nowadays. We have more media, we have more formats, so I was able to create an Instagram page, Twitter page, to talk about every team that a lot of people don't know, but we have this access today.
And how many people do you have engaged in your Fiorentina channels nowadays?
In like followers, it's in Instagram it's more than 1,700.
Wow,
it's something like that, but in less than 1 year, and it's really surprises me because I really didn't do that to get followers. I was just in writing, practicing my writing. It's a good thing about that. And when I saw a lot of people that know the team, or it's not a supporter at all, but like to know about it and follow another pages of another teams. And in other, that is another thing that Fiorentina have history connected with Brazil. A lot of Brazilian players played in Florence, in Firenze, whatever. So Brazilian fans know. Sometimes if you are a fanatic about soccer, you probably heard about it. But it's like that. It's 1,700. Twitter is a little less, 1,100. It's the two mainly formats that I created, Instagram and Twitter.
Very good. Excellent. Very interesting. And where do you get the information from? Do you read Italian newspapers? How do you get the content that you post?
Yeah, like I said, we don't have too much information in Portuguese, so I need to go to another international vehicles. Sometimes in English, not only Italian, because the English journals and the papers, they talk about the Italian soccer too, but the mainly way to get the information is the official channel of Fiorentina. They have the Italian and the English channel too. On Twitter they have 2 pages. But it's a problem. You only stay in the official vehicle. You need to search for another ones, and there's a lot of pages of fans in Italy that I access, so I get the Google Translate them, and I can read more or less because Google translated a little poorly in Italian.
Yeah.
But it's I can understand the much part of this, and after that I can translate and search for another things in this project. Different of Bola na Agulha. Bola na Agulha, we don't like to give not our opinion so much. We inform more.
Okay.
But in the Fiorentina page, I'd like to give my impression about the things, my opinion, my way of seeing the situation. So it's a little more free. I am free to do this, to do that.
Have you been discovered either in your Fiorentina project or Bola na Agulha? Have you been discovered by any official page? Like, are you being followed by the Fiorentina themselves, or is there any famous journalist that has discovered you guys in Bola na Agulha or anything like that? Or are you still very anonymous and very like us?
No, Bola na Agulha, we interview some people. You know, we like we are doing here. We invite people to talk about the things that we think that we don't have the capacity of talking about, like difficult issues. So politic issues, economy issues. So we bring we invite someone that are better to talk about, and this kind of guests normally they share the content and they follow us back. And Bola na Agulha, we have more of these interactions. But in the Fiorentina, the English page actually follows me back.
Oh, cool.
So it's interesting. It's interesting. But in Bola na Agulha, we have more of this.
Okay, nice, very good. I wish you all the best and all the success in both projects. I'm sure you have no limit to grow there. And another question. We hear a lot of complaint, and very justified complaint actually, from other sports other than soccer. Like you were saying, when Olympics comes, everybody wants results, everybody wants to see gold medals, but we don't see other sports having, of course, not as much visibility, not as much money. You know, they're not funded as much as soccer, of course. And my question is, what do you think we as a spectator, and what do you think is your role in trying to change that a little bit? You know, what do you think can be done in order for us to change that and give more space in the mainstream, in the big media, and maybe bring more funds to these other sports too?
Yes, nice. It's actually a complex theme. You know, and I would like to talk about something in the end, but you bring this question. I can talk now. I can speak about this now. First of all, me and the other guys of Bola na Agulha, we don't want to look like arrogant, you know. I don't know, because actually someone can understand that we are better than people on TV, you know, someone who is listening now.
Of course.
No, it's not. Like I said, everything has a reason. The traditional press, the sports journalism, talk about things that the audience wants to hear. It's more easy, it's more comfortable, and guarantee of money. But we can't deny that usually this content becomes more entertainment than actually journalism. I think that's the point. Nowadays, it's entertainment. You need to be funnier, you need to be relaxed, and not actually journalism. And this occurs because of that. So TVs will only talk about soccer. The other sports will not have the space, not have the transmission, the broadcast. We can't see competition of, I don't know, different sports, actually exotic sports, because it's only football, soccer, sometimes basketball, tennis a little bit. But I think that we talk about everything. So if you don't like volleyball, like you said, you like the episode about volleyball. Okay, you don't like volleyball, but you like other sport. We are talking about everything. We're talking about political issues in Myanmar, that is a country in the south of Asia. We talk about volleyball, then we talk about Chinese football, and then we talk about the Black Lives Matter. And you can listen one episode if you want. You don't have to listen at all because it's very different, and it's what we're trying to do: bring the other sports. It's a difficult thing in terms of the television. I think my experience in television when I worked there shows me that it can be changed, unfortunately, because cannot be changed so easy. I think because so easily because the people who took the decisions, they will always think about the audience and the money first. It can't be done by us, like internships and other people. Sometimes you have a space to do something but it's difficult, but we are trying to do a little. It's a small piece. There are a lot of another pages that do this job too. Everyone in your own environment, but in terms of the mainly media, the mainstream media, it's difficult to do. But I think that,
which is a shame, because I don't know if you remember. I think it was about 10 years ago or so. Record was able to get the rights to show the Winter Olympics. I don't remember which country it was, but I remember everybody was talking about curling. I personally had never seen curling before, and I love that. I mean, every time I hear there is curling on TV now, I turn on and I'm cheering. I love to see them going like. It's just so funny, you know. And then we ask, why don't they ever show that to us? You know, so I do hope more and more programs like yours and people with new points of view have more space and channels like Bola na Agulha, and of course like Fiorentina, where you can give your own opinion. I hope they grow and they get more visibility, because I think the sports and us, the public, and the consumers of sports, we can only benefit from that. So I hope you guys have all the success and you grow. And I'm here, like I always say in Portuguese, eu tô aqui sentado na minha cadeirinha, só esperando e vendo você crescer e te acompanhando aqui, ó, torcendo, porque eu acho que vai ser muito bom. Tá bom?
Okay.
We have to end now, because I have another class in a few minutes, and then I have another live. So we are going to finish out now. So before I finish, I would like to thank you so much for coming, for accepting this challenge, and for all the information, and for telling us, for giving us this master class about journalism and sports and everything. It was a great pleasure having you here.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. It was fun. It's a challenge that I actually never been through. I think.
And you did
so.
Great,
like I said.
So you can.
Oh, thank you. But yes, some parts I was like, I don't know what to say exactly, but I think everyone understands.
Of
so
course,
it's easier. It's easier to understand when when the people don't talk at all, don't have fluent English, because it's easier to understand. So thank you by the invite and to talk about the projects. It's interesting to have the opportunity to talk about this in different vehicles and content.
So thank you so much. I'd like to thank everybody who's watching and who's been watching here with us. So don't forget, please like this video, and please like this video and tell everybody to come and watch Álvaro Logullo. If they're not here, they can watch it later. The video is going to be here. Thank you so much for everybody who's watching, and to you, Álvaro. We'll talk.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone.
E